Hi, how are you?
I'm doing great, my friend. I'm so happy
Oh,
to be here, Tanasha.
yes, it's good to see you, Mona Lisa. Man, it's been a minute. Like I first met you back in October of last year, and we got together shortly after we met. And then it's just I've been just seeing you online and all the wonderful work you've been doing. We need to get together again soon.
I cannot wait. I've been stalking you online too. I'm like, oh my goodness, she was at this event, she was at that event. You're looking good,
Thank
doing what you do best. So I'm always so happy cheering you on every time I see you. So
you.
yes,
Yay, thank
we need to
you.
get together.
Well, I appreciate you being here. Today is Memorial Day, it's an actual holiday. And first and foremost, I want to say to any listeners out there, um, thank you for your service. And if you have someone that, passed away while they were fighting for, our rights to just live this American dream, much respect to you. My father was in the army. He made a lifetime career out of it. So I know all about what that military brat life is about. So, again, happy Memorial Day for all of you listening. Thank you so much for your service. Welcome to the Grateful Wounds podcast. This is a storytelling platform where real conversations about pain, healing, faith, motherhood, transformation, taking care of your mental health all take place here on this platform, Grateful Wounds. I believe, Tanasha Arwood as the host, it's through my own personal stories and expert insights like my guest today, Miss Mona Lisa, that I believe that we can explore life's deepest wounds, and those wounds can lead us to our purpose, growth, and empowerment. So, without further ado, I want to introduce my guest. She is a dynamic person. She's got this nonprofit called Expose. Did I say it correctly?
Today.
Yeah. So she's not only doing incredible work here locally in Los Angeles, but she's also doing incredible work globally, um, all through the efforts of making youth and families more well known around the subject matter of mental health, wellness, STEM education, and just overall building community impact. So, without further ado, I'm going to let her talk. Welcome, Mona Lisa.
Thank you, Tanasha. I'm so happy to be here, like I said. And by the way, I love the title, Grateful Ones. What a name for a podcast. It really just speaks a lot. It speaks about healing, it speaks about growth, it speaks about survival, it speaks about faith, and it also speaks about transformation. So I really do love that.
Thank
So,
you.
hello, everyone. This is such a pleasure to share this Memorial Day with Tanasha. She's an amazing lady. I love what she does, because she likes to, what I've noticed about her is like she wants to listen to other people's stories.
Yes.
It's probably a way for her to heal as well, because sometimes we feel our stories are heavier than others. But
Yeah.
once you listen to other people's stories, you know that there are so many people who share similar stories with you or
Yeah.
who carry heavy loads. But it's really nice for you to create this platform, Grateful Ones, for us
Yes.
to come, have discussions. It's really nice. So thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
So
Thank
My
you.
name, my name is Monolisa Okojie. I live in Los Angeles, California. I've lived here for 28 years, going on 29, and I'm from Nigeria. I have a family here, and I've lived more in LA than I've lived in Nigeria growing up. But LA has been good to me. I'm not going to say it hasn't been. This is my home now. I
Yeah.
respect the culture, I respect the people, And once in a while, I try to throw in my culture to teach
Yes,
them a little bit about me and my culture
I
because I
love
do love my Nigerian culture. So I incorporate both of them and I've been able to, balance it out. But I love LA and I'm happy to be here.
it. I love it. I'm glad that you're here. And I love your culture as well. I got a little taste of it back at your
Yeah,
fundraising gala in October. So it was so beautiful.
thank
Um,
you.
Today we are talking about mental health in our community. And when I say our community, it's primarily the Black and Brown community. Mental health is something that many communities today in 2026, they still struggle to talk about openly. But the truth is, silence can be dangerous. So I want to have an honest conversation about mental health in our community. Can you tell us a little bit about your nonprofit and the great work that you're doing around mental health here locally?
Yeah, it's interesting that you said that because mental health in most communities is
Hmm.
still a taboo to talk about mental health.
Yes.
It's better in some communities, but yes, in the African American, in the Black community, in the African diaspora especially, it
Hmm.
is really a taboo. Many parents, when they notice that there's a mental health issue with their children, they keep it to themselves
Yes.
and they don't seek help. I really believe in early intervention.
Yeah, I can relate to what you just said because I share this on another episode of my podcast. I grew up, my stepdad is from Kingston, Jamaica, and my mom, she's African American, but in our household, we didn't talk about any type of mental health issues, any therapy, really any type of matters of the heart. Okay, anything going down in the family, we tight lip, sweep it under the rug, and keep on moving. Like we just don't talk about it. And so, um, being raised like that, in my own personal journey, I've gotten to a point where I'm like, well, it's okay. It's okay to not be okay and it's okay to reach out for help. It is okay to talk about things so you don't have to suffer in silence. I love what you said about early intervention because so many of our youth, it's just critical. It's crucial for them to learn this skill early on versus when they become an adult and they get out here in this world and it just starts to beat them up. Is that something you would agree with or
Absolutely. Because you see, many people do not realize that unhealed trauma
yeah.
affects relationships in different ways. It
Yes.
affects parenting, it affects communication, it even affects your physical health, And I think one of the reasons people don't talk about mental health is because they see it as a sign of weakness,
Weakness. Yes.
or, it's something to be ashamed of.
Yes.
But I'm here to just say there's nothing to be ashamed of.
Correct.
The earlier you start talking about it, the better. And many times, you can actually get help.
Yeah.
You can also get free help. I know so many clinics that will offer free help. Sometimes many people just slide into depression,
Yeah.
because they're having anxiety from the trauma, there's stress, there's grief, there's emotional exhaustion. There's
Yeah.
just so much happening at the same time. But you find out that if you talk to somebody,
Hmm.
they'll help you manage all the symptoms. Well, I'm not saying they're going to go away magically, but
Right.
they'll help you manage it to the point where you're going to understand it better and
Yeah.
know how to deal with it.
Right. Right.
So, yeah, I really do believe that mental health is nothing to be ashamed of.
I love
Let's
that.
seek help when we feel we're sliding away.
Yeah.
So, with the youths in downtown LA, what we do is actually prevent them from getting to that point. So, we're
Okay.
teaching them a lot of modern wellness.
Okay.
So we just put a fancy name to it. So it's modern wellness, what you need to do, how you need to open up your mind, how you need to exercise, how you need to meditate, and also let them know if they're facing any challenges, there are people to talk to.
Yes. So when you say people to talk to, one of the questions I had for you was, how do you go about creating a safe space for your youth and families that engage with your nonprofit? Because that's really huge. In I believe one of the reasons people don't speak up is because one, they probably don't feel safe, they might feel ashamed, they might feel judged. How do you start building that safe space?
First, by having conversations with them,
Mhm.
very basic conversations. And the magic question is, do you want to talk to somebody?
Yeah.
You're going to feel comfortable talking to somebody, because most of like literally all the youths we deal with are minors.
Hmm.
We then have to get parental consent.
Right.
So we get the parents involved and tell them that, you know, this is what we found out from your child, and we would like to offer these services. We provide free therapy sessions for them.
Okay.
And we tell them, we say, this is a safe space. You're not going to be forced to say anything you don't want to say. Just
Right.
feel comfortable, feel relaxed. And naturally, the therapy starts with just knowing the person without diving straight into what the issue is.
Yeah.
The first few sessions, you don't want to go like, okay,
Yeah.
yes, I hear your father was incarcerated. So is that what is affecting you? No. We want to go by what's your name? What are your hobbies? What do you like to do at your spare time? What's your favorite subject in school?
Right.
Do you have a best friend? Oh, what was the last movie you watched that you enjoyed so much? So
Yeah.
basic things.
Yeah.
You're getting to know the person while you're building the relationship with the person. The first time you don't have to go into anything deep unless
Yeah.
the person says, you know what, I want to talk about this.
Yeah.
Then ease into it. So that's how you create that space where the person feels you're their friend. You're
Uh-huh.
not there to judge them. You're there to help them. So
I
with
love.
the first session, the second session, you just ease into what the issues are. And I must tell you that by having those conversations with the
Mhm.
person the first few times, you can already tell what the issues are without
Mm,
actually going into the main issue.
I
So
love.
yeah, so you just find ways of talking to them,
Okay.
and then finding out what the issues are, and then recommending some exercises. And so there are some situations where you'll have to get the parents involved because they're minors. You want the parents to know that this is what your child is going through and this is how you can help them.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
then you also want to know if the parent is aware,
Right.
yeah, that the child is going through depression, anxiety, or particular issue that the child is dealing with. Yeah.
I love that. I love that. I had my therapist come on an episode of The Grateful Wounds, and we talked about early on our conversation and how we met, and one of the first sessions, and her trying to make it a safe space for me to start opening up, because of what I was dealing with. I just cried, and she just let me cry, and she didn't interrupt, she didn't say a word. Like, I just cried. And that was all I needed in that moment to just begin creating that safe space and that relationship with her. And now, we, I don't have a therapist anymore, but it was a 2-year journey, is what I want to say. And she's like a good friend now, and she's one of the ones who encouraged me to start this podcast. So, Shout out to Lisa James and shout out to you too for creating those safe spaces for youth and adults.
Yeah.
Um, the,
Find out that, sorry, okay. You
oh yeah.
find out that, sometimes just one supportive adult,
Uh-huh.
one mentor, or one positive environment can actually completely change the direction of a young person's life.
Yeah.
Because you move from survival into growth and
Yes.
then confidence and then purpose, because
Yes.
everybody has a purpose in life. So I'm
Right.
happy that your therapy was able to help you through the journey. And
Yeah.
yes, you said it's sometimes you just want to cry.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
get there and then you just want to cry.
Yeah. And
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 it's
you
okay
gotta
to cry.
and you gotta know that it's okay. So even with your youth, like if you've had someone who was, a crier like me, they have to know that it is okay, you know? What inspired you to, this because I feel like this is personally deep, personal for you. It's deep. Like, what inspired you to create your foundation? Like, what's the story behind it?
Um, so I come from a culture where education is priority.
Okay.
Many people do not know, but English is our first language in
Mhm.
Nigeria because we were colonized by the British.
Okay.
So everybody speaks English. That's our first language. And
What?
then our parents, everything's like, oh, you have to go to school, you have to be a lawyer, a doctor, an engineer. So education is big.
Yeah.
And then I found out when I got here that education is important here, but
Hmm.
it's not as big. And I
Yeah.
also found out that there was this gap between the underserved communities where and other people
Hmm.
where they were not pursuing anything in STEM. They were
Mm.
just happy graduating from high school, not necessarily thinking about college. Some are thinking about it, but not
Yeah.
all of them. And for some people, it was not an option. And
Okay.
the reason why is because, they're probably second generation or first generation, and they didn't see the people in their families go to college.
Yeah.
That's one thing. And the other thing is, even if they went to college, many of them were not in the STEM field at all.
Okay.
So, what we decided to do at Expose is create this organization where the children
Hmm.
will have an opportunity to be exposed to opportunities.
Yes.
Because if they're not exposed to opportunities, they don't know about it.
No, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So, we're bridging the gap between what they learn in school and what they can learn outside. Some of them play sports, it's great, but while you're playing sports, this is the option, this is another option for you. Here we
Yes.
provide these opportunities to show you what is out there. And
Yes.
then you can make an informed decision on whether you want to actually go to college and whether you want to study anything in STEM. If you look at statistics, the percentage of kids that from underserved communities that go to college is low, but those that even go pursue anything in the STEM world is much, much lower. So when I would notice that gap, I
Yeah.
decided to create the nonprofit to help fill that gap.
That for anyone listening that doesn't know what STEM is, STEM, can you break it down for us?
So STEM is science, technology, engineering, and mathematics.
Yeah. All the things. It's like, oh, I don't want any of that.
I know, but it's
Yeah.
not as difficult as many of them think because what we've also done is that we've brought in pilots, we've brought in engineers, we've brought in medical doctors,
Yeah.
we've brought in surgeons, and the surgeons have said, see, what do I need to perform a surgery? And the kids say, oh, well, you sign up and then you go into the room and you perform the surgery. And he's like, no, more, more, more. I need more answers. And people are looking at each other like, what else do you need? Maybe a nurse to help you out. And he's like, no, I need a respiratory therapist.
Ooh,
I need an anesthesiologist. I need all, without these people, I cannot even perform the surgery.
right,
I'm the surgeon, but I can't do anything without them. So those are the things and the opportunities that they do not know exist. So
right.
if they feel being a surgeon may be too expensive
Mhm.
financially for them, or they feel it's so far-fetched, they can be a respiratory therapist.
Yes.
They can
Yeah,
be an anesthesiologist.
yeah,
So those opportunities that they do not know about is what we keep exposing them to all the time. So it's been very interesting. They love it. They love to do the hands-on activities because we do a lot of hands-on activities. They've
okay,
learned how to take IVs, sorry, how to give IVs. They've learned how to pull blood, everything to draw blood. So it's been very interesting, but very fulfilling. So,
yeah.
yeah, I hope I answered your question with that.
You did, you did. Thank you. And I can tell it's very fulfilling because you just, for those listening, like you just light up. You light up when you start talking about the subject. So that for me, that's always like key that a person is walking in their purpose. And I love seeing that about you. I want to go back to a subject real quick that we kind of talked about. This thing of being around silence. Why do you believe so many communities oftentimes silence the conversation around mental health?
Shame.
Yeah,
Shame
yes.
is a key factor. Um, Shame is a key factor, and it's really not the children, it's the parents,
Hmm.
you know, that are ashamed to tell people that their child is going through some mental health challenges. Um, and I believe that because people were not taught to solve that healing is part of survival.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
once you heal, then you can survive.
yes,
But people are not taught that way,
yeah,
So there are just so many things. There's also the cultural aspect to it. There's the fear of judgment.
yes, yeah,
You don't want to be walking around and people are pointing a finger at you saying,
right.
that person has some mental issues. So the fear of judgment, they feel unstable, they feel weak, they feel broken.
Hmm.
So there are just so many reasons. There's also, most importantly, is the lack of education
Yeah.
because many people do not understand that, whatever they're experiencing at a particular time is connected somehow to mental health.
Hmm.
So if you educate them on the fact that this is okay, it's
Yeah,
okay not to be okay.
yes,
If
yes,
they know that it's okay not to be okay, then they'll seek help. They
yes,
won't feel judged
yeah,
because the bottom line is that they want to get healed. So there are just so many factors, and many of them is culture based.
right.
I think many people also stay silent because they never have had a safe space to
Hmm.
speak honestly. They're always silent.
Yes, yeah,
So the minute they want to start expressing how they feel, someone is going to silence them. That way they cannot express, they'll never be able to express how they feel to that person. So automatically that place is not a safe space anymore. Because silence, most times it
yeah,
protects pain.
yes.
But then with conversations, you can create healing. Yeah.
Yeah. As we get ready to close, what are some resources that your organization Expose offers to the community?
So we offer different types of resources. We offer mental health services. We offer resources for even for food, for
Mhm.
housing, because we partner with a lot of other organizations. We can refer them to other organizations for different things. But after school programs, mental health services, feeding, accommodation, we can provide all those resources. Yeah.
I love that. And then, so what is your, as you continue on in 2026 and beyond, right? What is your vision for Expose and around the future of mental health awareness? Like, what's your vision?
So my vision is for everyone to get an education on mental health.
Okay.
I really think it's important. It's important that if they get that education, they know that nobody's going to be judging them. And Expose is not just a program. It's a community-centered support system that is focused on healing, is focused on growth, focused on opportunity and purpose.
I love it. I love it. Awesome. Resources, help available. I looked up a couple of things. Let me know if you have any others to add. National Alliance on Mental Illness. It's commonly referred to NAMI. That's NAMI.org. That's an organization I was a part of when I lived in Dallas, Texas. Huge organization. For anyone needing additional resources, I encourage you to reach out to them. Also, there's help here if you're locally at the LA County Department of Mental Health. You can go to their website. It's just the letter D, the letter M, the letter H dot lacounty.gov. Are there any others that you would recommend for our listeners?
Yeah, I recommend Hive of Hope. They are located, they have a whole bunch of centers. They have in Simi Valley, they have in Agora Hills, they also have in downtown LA. They do provide free mental health services. They do-
Nice.
Not just that, they also work with special needs, and most of the services are free. And they also accept, different types of insurances as well. But if you cannot pay, Hive of Hope will take you in, and they'll make and then you can make Hive of Hope your home because they will take you in and help you out.
I love it. I love it. And so, any special projects coming up for Expose? I thought I read somewhere you have a summer youth program coming up, or
Yes, 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 you're so correct. Yes, we have a 9-week summer youth program coming up. And so it's a STEM 9-week workshop that's going to be going on throughout the summer. We have it every year, so we're getting ready for that.
yeah.
And then we're also getting ready for modern wellness for younger kids as well, from
Okay.
5 to 11. So those
Wow.
are the two big things that are coming up this summer.
I love it. And where can people follow you and Expose, find out more information about you and
Oh,
your organization?
yeah, expose.ngo. We're expose.ngo through all the social media platforms, or
Yes.
you just check out our website. If you have any questions, fill out the form online, and we'll get back to you within 48 hours.
I love it. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Mona Lisa. It's been a pleasure having you on today as my special guest for the Grateful Wounds podcast. Um, for those listening, I just basically thank you again. I know it's a holiday and you probably have 1,000 things you could be doing, but I am so glad that you're here. And I just want to leave you all with this. One of the biggest lies we believe is that we have to be strong all the time. I believe that for many years, but the real strength is allowing yourself to heal. So find an organization like Expose. I talked the other day about the Monique Woolley Foundation. We just talked about NAMI, Hive of Hope. Even if it's just a close friend or someone that you trust, find someone, get the mental health support that you need, educate yourself on the topic, and just you will find that you're going to be so much better for it. So, thank you again for listening to this episode of the Grateful Wounds podcast as we tackle the subject of mental health awareness. I appreciate you being here, Mona Lisa.
Thank you. Thank you. And I hope to see you soon. You know,
Yes,
we need to
yes,
catch up.
yes, we got to catch up.
Yes,
Awesome.
yes. And then, if it's okay, I want to invite everybody to Destination Africa on June 13th at the Los Angeles Trade Tech during the FIFA World Cup. We're actually going to have free mental health resources there as well.
Okay, yeah. I didn't recognize that. So yeah, let's tell them the date again and the location. I forgot.
So it's June 13th, and it's going to be at the Los Angeles Technical College in LA. And come get free mental health resources.
Love it. Thank you.
Thank you. It's a family event, so bring your friends, your family. It's a free event. That's the best part of it.
That's the best part.
Free events. They come appreciate the and see the African culture, the African music, dancing, music, food. It's just a lot that's going to be going on, but it's going to be fun.
Yes, I love it. I'm looking forward to it.
Thank you.
Thank you.